So I'm talking today about dealing with what do you do when life goes upside down, or what do you do dealing with adversity? Or some people just say, Glenn, how can my life not suck? I've got a new student who's recovering from some addictions, and he's had a lot of stuff come his way, heartbreak and job loss and health challenges, and sometimes it just piles on. Uh, and you just get buried, and you just think, what's the use, man? My life sucks. It's never going to get better. And then it starts taking you down even further, going, well, do I want to keep living? Is life worth living? And then ultimately, the low vibration energy wants to take you out. And you have to be aware of that. So here comes the siren now. Somebody's trying to be taken out. Let that pass. It's weird. Okay, at any rate, so this thing called energy awareness, energy freedom, energetic freedom. How does that work? Well, as you study and learn energy training, you start to become aware of the booby traps and the setups that take place. You start to become aware of one of the energetic laws that I teach, which is the law of illusion, or the law of paradox, which simply states that sometimes things are the way they seem, but other times they're not the way they seem. Sometimes things work out the way we think they're going to work out. Sometimes they don't work out the way that they think we're going to work out. And if we have, money or emotions or time invested in these things, when it doesn't work out the way we want them to, we get upset and we suffer. Well, the purpose of energy awareness training, as I mentioned, to attain this state of emotional and energetic freedom, where you learn what the booby traps of life are like, and you learn how to deal with every situation that comes your way, and you learn how to deal with it successfully. So, we all have to deal with shifts in life. As we get older, your body changes. As we get older, people leave, or marriages end, or people leave the planet, etc. I mean, that's just a part of life. And when you're young, that usually doesn't happen to you. So you're more carefree. But as you get older, things start to happen. You have to start dealing with different situations. And you've got to be prepared energetically and emotionally to deal with these things, or they can take you down. I went through, many years ago, I went through tremendous heartbreak of a gal that I was in love with, and we were very happy together, and she was the best thing that I'd ever found, and I thought we were going to be married and we're going to have a happily ever after. Well, it didn't turn out that way, and I won't go into the whole details, but it ended sadly, and I took it pretty hard. In fact, it took me about 3 years to get over that. 3 years of just kind of, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, of you got this emptiness inside you, and you're dealing with this sadness inside you 24/7. Now, if I had been energetically aware, it would have probably taken me 3 weeks to get over it, if that long. Why? Because all of that suffering that I was dealing with was regret. Why didn't it work out? Why, she said she was going to love me forever. Why did she change her mind? We were going to be so happy together, and now that's all gone, and all our plans for the future are over, and will she ever come back? And just going, and it's that voice inside you, that the terrorist, that voice inside you that just wants to just pour salt on your wounds, pour gas into a fire. Well, in energy awareness training, you learn how to deal with that voice, and you learn how to turn that voice off, the voice of harassment, that voice of doom. And when that voice is turned off, then you can allow the high vibration energy to come in, all the good stuff. Now, that's an example of what I talked about earlier here in the class, when at that time, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, or one of the worst things that ever happened to me. But 5 years down the line, it taught me so much, and I'm a better person. I'm a wiser person, And I recognized the mistakes that I had made in that relationship and wised me up to not make them in the next relationship. I made plenty of mistakes in the next relationship, but at least I learned from that one. And that was part of my education for me to grow, to learn, to expand. And if I had only known then what I know now, I wouldn't have been depressed for 3 years. I wouldn't have been walking around like a zombie for 3 years. I would have processed the energy. I would have released the energy and let it go, take my lessons, and then get back to being present and aware and alive right here, right now. Because what was my suffering? Thinking about being back in the past, thinking about what could have happened, what should have happened, what might have happened, and it's not happening. So now I'm miserable because that didn't happen. All of that takes place in my head. That's not reality happening here. They're just thoughts. And not only that, then this low vibration energy or the terrorist in your head, not only does it smack you from the past, but it'll take you out into the future and say, you're never going to find love again. You're never going to be happy again. That was your last chance. Now you're screwed. You're going to be alone your whole life. You go, oh, so you're getting smacked by the past. You're getting smacked by the future. The only place there's peace is right here and right now. And it's the job of the low vibration energy to pull you out of now. You've heard of the power of now, where he talks about being present, being aware. Because right here and right now, it's all good. Right here and right now, there's no suffering. No suffering. Where would the suffering be? Would be in my head. That's where it would be. So what you learn how to do in energy awareness training is to neutralize and dissolve that suffering and get it out. One last point I want to make here, and it's exactly what happens when life goes upside down or when we get jolted. And what happens is when we get something happens to us, or we lose someone, or we leave a job, or something happens that was sudden that we weren't prepared for, what it does is it opens space inside us. Because our minds like certainty. They like to know what's going to happen. We all want to know what's going to happen. We all want to make sure everything is going the way it's supposed to. Well, you know what? Life doesn't go the way it's supposed to. We think it's supposed to go over here, and it ends up right over here. So what happens is that when we go through adversity or go through an upset, whatever that is, it opens a space inside us. It opens what I call an energetic shift or a space. And what happens is that, okay, we don't have that person in our life anymore, space. Or we don't have that job anymore, space. Or we don't have that thing we were doing before and we're not doing anymore, space. Now, whatever we put in that space is going to be our energetic software to propel us forward. Because we are all propelled, we all have an operating system. We all have an energetic operating system. And that's largely controlled by our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And our thoughts, feelings, and emotions and behaviors are all regulated and run by the energies that we're in. So if we're in high vibration energies, our thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going to be ones of high vibration energy. If our energies are in low vibration energy, they're going to be ones that want to make us suffer, want to make us feel bad, etc. So understand that when this space takes place, you have to be conscious and aware of, oh, okay, I'm not doing this thing anymore, and I don't know what's going to happen. And this is where we kick into the high vibrational energy of certainty, because we know that if we're connected and we're moving in the direction of high vibrational energy, we're going to create more high vibrational energy. The only thing that we don't see is exactly when that's going to happen, because in this world, we're under the laws of time, space, and motion. So when something happened to us, like that thing that happened to me, 5 years later, I saw that it was for my benefit. I saw that we would never have been happy together. I saw that I was lucky not to be in that relationship, and I was happy and grateful. Well, but it took me 5 years or 3 years to get from low vibration to high vibration. Wouldn't it be great if I could have stayed in high vibration energy while that was happening? And the answer is you can. So most of our problems and our upsets, they start to make sense only down the road. And then we say, oh, if only I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have fallen apart. Well, energy awareness training teaches you that whatever you're dealing with right here, right now, that it's all good, that it's here for a purpose, that it's here to make you better, here to expand you, here to grow, here to educate you. But understand, if you get one thing from this video today, it's that there's more going on than you see. And, don't get faked out by what's going on right now. That there's whatever you're dealing with in the physical world, there's another aspect of it in the non-physical world for your growth. And you're going to get there one way or the other. You can get there in peace. You can get there in certainty and full faith. That's where faith comes in. Being able to hold it together until the good things reappear. Or you can go kicking and screaming and resist the whole thing and suffer through all of that. And we don't want that. We want you to be able to stay happy, joyous, and free through the whole experience so you can have a great life, and teach this to your friends, to your children, to let them know that most of the 90% of all suffering is unnecessary if you're energetically aware. So people become energetically aware and learn how this works and have a better life.